In 1912, a rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich made a discovery that would later become one of the most mysterious books ever studied by historians and linguists. Hidden among ancient manuscripts, he found a strange book filled with symbols no one could understand. Voynich discovered the manuscript inside a Jesuit college near Rome while examining a collection of old documents. At first, the book appeared to be a typical medieval manuscript like many others stored in European archives. The pages were made of vellum, a durable parchment created from animal skin. During the Middle Ages, vellum was commonly used for important books because it could survive for centuries without completely deteriorating. The manuscript looked old and fragile. Its pages were slightly warped, and the ink appeared faded, suggesting the book had been created hundreds of years earlier. But as Voynich began examining the pages carefully, he noticed something deeply unusual. The entire text was written in a language that no one could recognize. The strange symbols looked somewhat similar to letters, but they did not match any known alphabet used anywhere in the world. Some characters resembled Latin letters, while others looked completely alien. Many of them contained loops, curves, and shapes that made the writing appear almost organic. There were no recognizable words in the manuscript. No punctuation marks separated the lines, and no numbers appeared anywhere in the text. Instead, the pages were filled with endless rows of strange characters, arranged in patterns that looked deliberate and organized. The writing seemed structured like a real language, yet no linguist could identify it. But the mysterious writing was only the beginning of the puzzle. As Voynich continued turning the pages, he discovered the manuscript was filled with strange illustrations. Many of these drawings appeared to show plants. At first glance, they looked like botanical illustrations, similar to those found in medieval herbal medicine books. However, researchers quickly noticed a major problem. None of the plants drawn in the manuscript matched any species known to science. Some leaves twisted into unnatural shapes. Roots spread across the page in patterns that looked biologically impossible. Certain flowers appeared to combine features from completely different plants, as if several species had been merged into one imaginary organism. This led some researchers to wonder whether the illustrations were meant to hide the identity of real plants. Others believed the drawings might represent plants that no longer exist today. Some even suggested the artist had invented entirely new plants that were purely symbolic. But the plant illustrations were not the only strange images inside the manuscript. Other sections of the book contained complex circular diagrams filled with symbols and star-like shapes. Some of these diagrams resembled astronomical charts used by medieval scientists to study the movement of celestial bodies. The diagrams often contained rings, lines, and small figures arranged around central circles. These structures made researchers suspect the manuscript might contain astronomical knowledge. Yet another section of the manuscript contained even stranger drawings. These pages showed small human figures, most of which appeared to be women. Many of these figures were drawn bathing in pools filled with green liquid, connected by pipe-like structures. Some figures appeared to float inside tube-shaped containers that looked almost mechanical. The meaning of these strange illustrations remains one of the biggest mysteries of the Voynich manuscript. After the manuscript became known among scholars, researchers across Europe quickly became fascinated by it. Linguists, historians, mathematicians, and cryptographers all began studying the strange book, hoping they might be the first to unlock its hidden meaning. The first question researchers wanted to answer was simple but important. When exactly had the manuscript been written? Understanding the manuscript's age could reveal clues about the civilization or culture responsible for creating such a strange book. For decades, historians debated the manuscript's origin. Some believed it was created during the Renaissance. Others suspected it might be older and possibly date back to the late medieval period. The debate continued for nearly a century until modern scientific methods were finally used to examine the book. In 2011, scientists used radiocarbon dating to analyze the vellum used in the manuscript's pages. Radiocarbon dating measures the decay of carbon isotopes in organic materials, allowing scientists to estimate how old something is. The results were surprising. The parchment used to create the manuscript had been produced between the years 1404 and 1438. This meant the Voynich manuscript was created more than 600 years ago, placing it firmly in the early 15th century. But instead of solving the mystery, this discovery raised even more questions. If the manuscript was written in the early 1400s, why had no historical scholar ever mentioned it? No known author had claimed responsibility for writing the manuscript. No medieval library catalog listed a book that resembled it. It was as if the manuscript had existed in complete secrecy for centuries. Researchers then began studying the writing itself in greater detail. The Voynich Manuscript contains roughly 170,000 individual characters, arranged into thousands of words. These words are organized into paragraphs that look remarkably similar to natural language. When linguists analyze the text statistically, they notice something remarkable. The patterns of the symbols behaved very much like real human language. Some characters appeared frequently, similar to vowels in many languages. Other characters appeared rarely, similar to less common consonants. Certain combinations of symbols appeared repeatedly across the manuscript. These repeating combinations suggested that the text followed some form of grammatical structure. Random symbols normally create chaotic patterns, but the Voynich text behaved differently. Its structure suggested the symbols were being used according to consistent rules. This convinced many researchers that the manuscript likely represented a real system of communication. However, when scholars compared the symbols to known languages, none of them matched. Not Latin, not Greek, not Hebrew, not Arabic, and not any other known language from the medieval world. Because the text behaved like language but matched no known alphabet, many researchers began considering another possibility. Perhaps the Voynich manuscript was not written in a natural language at all. Instead, it might have been written using a complex cipher designed to hide its true meaning from anyone who did not possess the decoding key. A cipher works by replacing letters with different symbols or altering the structure of words so that the original message becomes unreadable. If the Voynich text used such a system, the strange symbols might represent letters from a real language hidden beneath the surface. This idea attracted the attention of cryptographers from around the world. Throughout the 20th century, experts in code-breaking began analyzing the mysterious manuscript. Some of these specialists had previously worked on military encryption systems during wartime. They had successfully cracked complex codes used by governments and intelligence agencies. Yet even these experienced cryptographers could not decipher the Voynich symbols. Every attempt to translate the manuscript eventually ended in frustration. The patterns looked meaningful, but the underlying structure refused to reveal a clear translation. Because of this, some researchers proposed a different explanation. Perhaps the manuscript was written in an entirely artificial language created by its author. A constructed language is deliberately invented rather than naturally developed through centuries of use. Modern examples include Esperanto or fictional languages created for books and films. If the author invented a private language for the manuscript, it might explain why no one has been able to recognize it. However, another theory suggests something very different. Some historians believe the Voynich manuscript might actually be an elaborate hoax. During the Renaissance, mysterious manuscripts were extremely valuable to collectors and scholars. A book written in an unknown language could attract enormous interest and financial value. If someone wanted to create such a valuable artifact, inventing a strange writing system could make the book appear more mysterious. But this explanation also raises an important question. The manuscript contains more than 170,000 carefully arranged characters, forming thousands of structured words. Producing such a massive and consistent text would require extraordinary effort and planning. In recent years, researchers have begun using modern computer analysis and artificial intelligence to study the manuscript. Algorithms examine symbol frequencies, word lengths, and repeating patterns throughout the text. Some studies suggest the structure behaves very similarly to natural human languages. Yet after more than a century of research, no one has successfully decoded the mysterious writing. The Voynich manuscript remains a 600-year-old puzzle, a book filled with symbols that humanity still cannot read, waiting for the moment when someone finally uncovers the secret hidden within its pages.